Hello, good evening, and welcome back. And I still have not got a chair for my home. In other news, of course, the economy is now growing with a 0.3% increase. The idea is that this is despite of Brexit, even though it might be because of Brexit. And if we actually have some idea that, okay, no deal is going to happen, then businesses can move forward, and that's what they've been asking for a heck of a long time. And seeing as we haven't got progression in the third quarter, then that means we won't have a recession, the way that these are calculated with GDP shrinking and then depressions were happening for a longer time. But no, that's not the main story of today. The main story of today is Protestor's solution to black-on-black violence in South Africa, kill whites instead. And this is from Summit News, Paul George Watson's website. And you might be thinking, hey Jesse, why are you using Paul's website, given that you agree with him on most things, if not everything? And the reason is because although I've looked around, I haven't seen this reported by anybody else, which might mean that it isn't necessarily so true, even though there have been various message boards, Smiley Post, Poll, 4chan, Reddit, and of course Twitter itself, having these instances, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's necessarily true. However, as not many people are reporting on it, I thought I'd do my bit and try to bring a spotlight onto it. And it's very fitting, of course, we've got sirens in the background here, seeing as we're talking about violent crime. So it's from Paul Joseph Watson. A protester in Paris proposed a novel solution to the horrifying spate of black-on-black violence in South Africa by urging people to kill whites instead. And black-on-white crime is still disproportionately high, obviously not as high as black-on-black crime, as most of it is gang-related. And if you can think of a way to get the black community together and more cohesive, without getting the parents back together and, or at least getting the family cohesion back together and stopping so much social aid and welfare, then I'm all ears, because as far as I'm concerned, that is the primary, if not only way, to make it happen. Lives Not Knives, of course, is an idea for that, which is kind of inspirational, motivational messaging campaign in order to try and get people to see that there are other options. But what have we got here? Over the last couple of weeks, black South Africans have been setting fire to other African migrants and attacking and looting foreign-owned businesses. The violence was sparked after a South African driver was shot dead by a drug dealer who was a foreign national. The wave of xenophobic violence, funny that, does that count? Are we allowed to use that term? Because I know we're not allowed to use racist, because that's supposed to be power plus prejudice. Although seeing in South Africa as now the blacks control the power as well as being prejudiced. Does that mean now that the blacks in South Africa can be racist? Is that how we're discerning this? Or how does it work? So the wave of xenophobic violence prompted the Zambian Ministry of Transport and Communications to instruct Zambian drivers not to travel through the country. Now a black protester in Paris has urged South Africans to target white people instead. And therefore that might be why the more mainstream media decided to not report on this, because there's no news here. That's all coherent with the narrative that they wish to push. It's like, yes, of course, we should be killing white people. The white genocide, that can only be a good thing. Surely, why not? The rate of replacement should only be increased. We should only allow more people in, and the fewer white people, the better. Yes, we can start with Europeans, but it's better if we push it further afield. And of course, that's a fun notion with Brexit, because given that with the Schengen zone, that somebody could travel to Europe, get a passport from Germany, for example, who are taking in far too many migrants. And by the way, I'm referencing Angela Merkel there, who was saying that multi-diversity has failed, and that was several years ago that she said that. But given that even she's saying it, that somebody could then get a passport and then move to another area. And do you mind if we got a still from Mixtail 101's channel? I think now Men 101. When he was talking about Minsk in Belarus, we were saying, and of course there are no refugees here because there's no welfare. So that's a pretty brutal smackdown. But yes, people aren't going to go somewhere if they can't get something for free. So this is the tweet from Based Poland. After all the recent xenophobic violence in South Africa between locals and Nigerians, black people in Paris held a protest and pleaded for the violence to stop. As one of the protest leaders said, don't kill your black brothers, kill white people or the Chinese instead. Don't know why we're throwing in the Chinese there. I thought you guys like communism. If you want to do xenophobia right, start to kill white people, start to kill Chinese people, start to kill Asian people, he said. And what do you think he means by Asian? don't kill your brother, we are all black, he added. So now if group identities based on racial lines. We have same blood, we have same colour, so why you kill your fellow brother? Asked the man. Oh, almost rhymes. The Roman kill rap reference. People in the comments on a Facebook live stream with Uganda appear to agree with Chugga marking respect below, and this is what Tim Pool tends to say. He likes it ice cream, but I don't care for that. That if you get rid of the worst on one side but leave the worst on the other side there, then that's what the bystanders are going to see. They're going to see, oh, well, these right-leaning people all seem to be very respectable and suit-wearing and moderate and all that, because of course all the more extreme people have been removed, but because everybody on the left is left, and they're more vocal with their radicalism and extremism, then again, that's what the bystander sees. They go, these right-leaning people, these seem to be quite moderate, because they're left, whereas these left-leaning people seem to be absolutely insane. So of course they're not banned, because for whatever reason, Silicon Valley seems to agree with them. Or of course then that capitalism is what drove them to success in the first place, and continues to do so. In a free market, they will survive and strive and thrive. But seeing as you got something like Operation Dragonfly from Google liaising, working really, with the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, in order to get their social credit system up and running and to inspect people and monitor them and police them as often and as intensely as possible. WeChat, of course, being an alternative to WhatsApp, as well as for booking hotels, flights, any travel tickets, for getting around, watching TV shows, the weather, everything like that, and that is monitored. And of course, you're not allowed to use a VPN. People are jailed for that, which suggests, of course, that then your VPN isn't as good as you thought it was. But nonetheless, the VPN banning is the beginning of the end, as far as I'm concerned. But yes, that is it. So I wish to draw attention to this, seeing as this is becoming more common, people are becoming more outspoken, and it is not being hushed away, which seems that there is some sort of tacit admission by the mainstream media to not call this out and take stock of people on your own side, as the right tends to do and the left tends not to. There are bad actors on both sides. However, the right seems to say, here's a bad person, we disavow them intensely, and we don't want anything to do with them, we disagree with them, they should stop. Whereas the left just goes, yeah, you do whatever, man. This is all free speech. Hang on, no, not free speech. Damn, we don't like that. Or maybe they do, because it's free speech is not hate speech, in which case, with their cognitive dissonance and mental acrobats, they seem to be able to get it to work, but I've never understood that, but maybe that's my own shortfall. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you think maybe this powerful protester is up to something, maybe the way to get gang-on-gang violence to stop, and it's mainly gang-on-gang more so than black-on-black. As far as I'm concerned, it just so happens that more black people are in gangs, and that's what caused it. But of course, when you've got something like these xenophobic attacks happening in South Africa, then maybe that's not quite the case. In which case, perhaps you could say then this is nationalism gone wrong, or some would say it's the logical conclusion of nationalism. But as always, I'll wrap this up. Let me know what you guys think below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.